Good morning. How's everybody today? Boy, Trump's on a tear, pissing people off, isn't he? Now he's gone back to that banning countries, And he's one of the countries he's banning is Haiti, and people in Haiti are really, they don't want to go back, and that's why they're overstaying their visas. But the biggest group of people that I ever saw overstay their visas were Indians that worked for big companies like AT&T and what have you, that were brought over here on HB1, 2 or HB2 or B, whatever that visa, special visa is. They were brought here to work for AT&T and then decided that, I told you the story. I had one group of guys that had 6 or 7 people living in a one-bedroom apartment, sleeping bags all over the floor, and they stayed, made money, stayed, invested in things like cash businesses like 7-Elevens and Wendy's and things like that where they didn't have to, they could fudge, because it was cash, and cash businesses are the easiest ones to fake for to be able to cheat on tax-wise. All right, so bartenders are been doing it for years, and now they want to give them their tips tax-free. But that's but that's just one of I think 11 countries. That's Iran and some other countries. Iran, I can understand that, but what about Russia and China? I don't see them being banned, and they stay. They never go home, Russian mafia is not going to let them go home if they're making money. All right. And now, I just read this was actually breaking news that Donald Trump is investigating Joe Biden administration for Biden's use of an auto pen in signing bills, especially ones that he doesn't like, that Trump doesn't like. And he's basically going back to saying that he was incapable of doing a lot of the stuff that he did. And I don't think he was mentally incapable. I think he was physically impaired to a certain degree because of cancer and whatnot, but I don't think he was mentally impaired at the time. Like I said, I saw somebody with the same sort of diseases and whatnot, do television for right up to almost the day he died. So I think he actually did one from his hospital bed, one scene, so I think that's all bullshit. That's just Trump being, Trump hates everybody, and if he can get even with somebody, he's going to try. Going along the Biden lines, a former press secretary just quit the Democratic Party, and she became an independent. And I just want you to know that when I post stuff here, I'm not a member of the Democratic Party. I consider myself an independent. I look at everything and I'll vote for the best person possible, okay? Which definitely will not be Donald Trump. An independent that votes for Donald Trump is one sick bastard. That's my opinion, all right? That's just an opinion. I don't have any facts for this. You know that. That was a headline, though, because she quit the Democratic Party. The way the Democratic Party is running right now, I can see a lot of people leaving the Democratic Party for an independent party, but what's holding them back is the fact that they have no clout as an independent. Well, guess what? You have no clout as a Democrat either right now, so you might as well go someplace where you're more appreciated. You know what I'm saying? Moving right along, folks. Trump is meeting with the new German Chancellor, Merz, I think his name is. I'm not sure, that might be wrong. But I don't pay attention to names when I read articles. I'm reading the position in the government, yada, 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 what he's saying. But what I've learned from reading all the various news agencies that deal with that speak to these foreign leaders and whatnot, what's beginning to come across is that the U.S. is no longer considered trustworthy. I know that comes as a big surprise to you, right? And of course, Trump has never been considered trustworthy. Trump is a two-faced, zigzagging dickhead. That's why. And the only reason I think that people aren't really going after Trump is because J.D. Vance is just the same person. Quite possibly worse, because he does it with a better smug look, you know. So, and I don't think he's a good person in any sense of the, not just not, you know, because he's got a wife and kids. Who knows, you know? I don't think she can, if she wanted to leave, I don't think she could leave, you know? That's just the way it is. But that's a very important thing to understand, you know? Zelensky learned it firsthand. I don't think he would trust Trump on a stack of Bibles, you know? I really don't. I think he's forced into situations where he has to trust Donald because of where he is in politically speaking, in his leadership role. He's pretty much forced to take Trump at his word, you know. But I don't think Trump or the Republican Party can be trusted right now, which means that the United States basically can't be trusted right now to do what it says it's going to do, because you have leadership that's looking out for its own interests rather than, you know, what they're claiming to do when they say, well, we're looking out for your interests, we're looking out for the world's interests. No, they're not. They're looking out for their interests. Private interests, not public interests, private interests. They're concerned only with themselves. There's the narcissists. That shouldn't be the Republican Party. That should be the narcissist party. You know, with the people that, and Trump's got loyalists that are so unqualified. And I think when they say that Trump is angry with the Chinese and that he's going to yell at them at this phone call today, that he's got to be very careful because he's playing with fire, because China's beginning to realize that they don't have the structure, that we don't have the structure to be able to defend ourselves properly should World War III start tomorrow. Not that if everything was in place, if we had the greatest leaders in the world, would we be any better off? But Trump diminishes leadership roles. So it's more coming down more to a very select few people who are in control rather than the people, all right? You remember what the Constitution says, that this is a government for the people and by the people. It's not working out that way right now. It might be, it's for the rich, by the rich right now. You know, and that's a little scary, folks, because they don't care about us, you know. And I keep going back, you know, to history, to the French Revolution, and the situation that was in France right before the Revolution is the same situation as Trump is creating here. It's basically a two-tier system. Rich and I want to be. I ain't getting rich and I ain't got nothing, you know. That's the system that he's creating, and his little pissant buddies are creating. Look, that bill that's going through that does have some items in it that if it gets passed and those items are like hidden in the bill and they go through with that bill, Trump will be king before 2026. Okay. Think about that, if you will. But he's really, you know, he's not capable of it because he's not leading the country. He's being led. Trump gets played by Russia, Xi. I think even to a extent Zelensky can play him, you know. These guys tell him one thing and they know he lies, so they just lie back to him. You know, it's not a truthful conversation when they have him. They're just, everybody's lying to everybody. And in the meantime, we're the ones that can suffer from that. You know, so that's something to be considered. All right. Now here's something I can't prove, and it's just a thought that entered my mind, and I'm just looking at some, before I say that, I just want to make sure I'm looking at some notes I made here. Okay. Trump is so against the trans youth. Is it possible that he's against care for trans and everything because he's afraid that Barron might be leaning in that direction a little bit? And this is his way of tough love. This is his rehabilitation from his thoughts and whatnot. I think that's quite possible, even though I don't have any proof. That's just a funny rumor I like to start and see what happens, you know. All right, listen, that's it. I'm going early today. I got things to do. So do yourself a favor, or me, if why not do yourself? Well, in a way, you'd be doing yourself a favor because you'd be able to laugh at. You get laughs from me every day, you know. We're only a few days away, a few months, weeks, I guess, from preseason football. Teams getting together, and that's when I'll have to start doing some in-depth stuff, you know. And I have the channels to do that, so no problem. And that's my favorite sport right now until they screw with it some more. Maybe next time we'll talk about the push-tush move. We'll see what happens. Anyhow, please go and click the subscribe button and the like button and any other button that's a positive thing. Or if you want to click a few negative ones, that's all right. Just don't click cancel. Please don't click cancel. Please don't click block. Okay? You know, I really, this is like therapeutic for me, sitting here and talking like this, you know. So I hope that you can somehow or another enjoy a little bit of it, you know, and I make some sense sometimes. It's funny, you know, there's a lot of interest down here in what goes on up there, you know, in the United States, and I think that's maybe a good thing, maybe a bad thing, because the leadership in this country isn't that great right now. You know, this country's is suffering from inflation due to this moron they have as a president. His economic policies and whatnot are basically non-existent. So it's getting difficult. I spent last month. So the month before last, I spent the same amount of money that I did the first when last year I was in America. It cost me the same, exactly. So of course we did a little. You know, there might have been a little bit extra spending. I'm not really sure about that, but anyhow, I'm looking for alternative solutions to my problems right now. So. But anyhow, that's it for today. I know it's a short one, but you know, I talked fast and I ran out of things to talk about because I don't have any in-depth information on these topics today. You know, the articles I read aren't really giving me information to talk about right now. So I have to start doing a little bit more digging. You know, you see this? That's ice cream from a birthday party last night. All right, listen, everybody take care, and I will talk to you tomorrow.